Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about E. Jean Carroll and the mess that Trump is in there. Okay, to review the bidding briefly. E. Jean Carroll alleges that many moons ago, I think 1991, Trump just grossly and abruptly raped her in the dressing room of a department store. And by the time she was going public with this, the statute of limitations had long since run. However, when she made these accusations, Trump, in his boorish and kind of asinine way, came out and said, well, basically called her a liar, and then worse, oh, she's not my type. Like, that's a defense against rape and, things like that. So she took that as a springboard to sue for defamation. And that's the lawsuit here, but a private lawsuit by one of probably many victims out there of Trump's, sexual overbearingness. And a regular defamation lawsuit. You lied about me. It hurt my reputation. You owe me some money. Okay, so that has proceeded. It is tied up in the issue that has vexed a few other lawsuits involving Trump. Namely, when he defames her, is he acting as president? In which case, the Department of Justice defends him, and indeed the lawsuit goes away because, hang in there for a quick legal point, the United States has not waived sovereign immunity for that kind of lawsuit, and they get to say as a sovereign what kind of suits they will defend. So there is this issue hovering over it that is now in the Second Circuit. I think it's more likely that the Second Circuit will say, heck no, he's not acting as a president when he's saying not my type, etc., and will let it go forward. But so far, it is going forward in the district court, and indeed, a trial is supposed to happen in April. And Trump, in his boorish, asinine way, has given her and her very able and aggressive counsel, Robbie Kaplan, a few gifts that it seems to me make it that even if they lose in the Second Circuit, she'll have a good case. First, he completely repeated the defamatory. He defamed her again. He, came out and said publicly and then in deposition that, not my type and worse. We'll get to that in a moment. So he repeated it all. And then second, New York has passed a law that says if you're a victim of a sexual assault and you didn't bring your lawsuit, and there are, good reasons why victims don't, as the New York legislature has now sort of learned, we're going to give you a year to just, even if it's an old thing, to dust it off and bring it again. And sure enough, E. Jean Carroll did that as well. So now two lawsuits. One, a defamation where there's this legal issue, but he's repeated the act anyway. And then later on, this sexual assault. But okay, we're on the defamation, and the judge, who's pretty hostile to Trump, ordered him to sit for a deposition. And this is where it gets really interesting. We know that he would or often has taken the Fifth Amendment when confronted with possible criminal conduct. But what is so potent about these civil lawsuits, and it's not just E. Jean Carroll, there are others out there, including by Eric Swalwell and other members of Congress. You can take the Fifth Amendment, of course, you always can, but in the criminal context, nobody can mention it, comment on it, etc. That's part of your right. In the civil context, they can. So if he took the Fifth Amendment here, when it came to trial, E. Jean Carroll's lawyers could say, see, he took the Fifth Amendment. What is he really trying to hide? So for that reason, they calculated he actually needed to answer the questions in the deposition. And being the worst client of all time and completely undisciplined, he sometimes answered it soberly, but then had these hugely asinine and boorish comments, like, among others, that he said that she had said she enjoyed being raped by him, and she's not his type, etc. Those are statements that are gonna come in. Basically, any statement he makes is going to be evidence at the defamation trial. And what happened this week is, to boot, the judge ordered the release of an excerpt of the transcript on the ground that it was necessary, or he was using it already to set discovery and scheduling so it could be made public. And that's where we saw these really, foul, repugnant, worst kind of frat boy, grab him by the pee kind of conduct of Trump. Flash forward to the trial that is really scheduled to go forward in April. And even if it's derailed by the legal issue, it will come back. The jury in New York is going to despise him, and they're going to be empowered, I think, to give not just regular damages based on the harm to her reputation, but punitive damages based on what? The need to deter and punish Donald Trump, meaning it will take account of his overall fortune. So we'll play that out again. Maybe he'll claim how poor he is, and they can assess a really big price tag. So this is a pretty serious threat to Trump, and it's an illustration of a more general point, which is in the overall kind of flotilla sailing toward Trump. These civil lawsuits, we don't think of them as much. We think about the criminal ones and the special counsel. These civil lawsuits could play a really big role, both in establishing what a total asinine, boorish guy he is, and in making him write a really big check. So stay tuned for that. But, the bottom line, defamation, release of a deposition transcript that would make a jury vomit and punish him, and a really serious lawsuit due to go to trial in the spring. Okay, so there you have it. Hey, I've mentioned this before, but you might want to go to our Patreon site to check out what we've got there. And really, it's just the best way, if the spirit moves you, to support independent media. We are completely independent, have hardly any commercials, no relationship with any big consortium, etc. So maybe give that a thought. All right, so E. Jean Carroll will be continuing to develop, along with a whole wealth of possible daggers aimed at Trump, and I'll be here to talk about them. Until then, talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.